Welcome to another installment of Creative Solutions. I'm Travis Chapman.
I'm Kenneth Vaughn.
And today our topic is, where are our soldiers at? Okay? And we're going to come raw and real, looking into, I'll start it off in talking about some of the male presence in our school system. Okay? So when we ask that question, where are our soldiers at? I'm going to take it to the classroom.
Okay.
As a classroom teacher, I would feel less than a professional, less than a man, if I could not control the four walls of my classroom, my domain. I should call my classroom Mr. C's domain, okay? And the bottom line is this. The reason why teachers are unable to control the four walls inside the classroom or the students within those four walls is primarily because they are not connecting with the students, okay? So when we ask that question, where are the soldiers at, we're not talking about hammering students, kicking them out of school, that time. We're talking about standing up, being a man or a woman, being a professional, being an educator, and taking our students to the next level in battle. They're battling for success. Where are our soldiers at? If you develop meaningful relationships with our students, understanding where they come from, their home life, their home situation, meeting them where they are, then you're going to make the processes in your classroom a lot easier.
Let me go through and preface this though too, that this is not a male thing.
Right.
It's not a female thing. Right. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not an Asian thing. Because I've worked with white female teachers that command the respect of students.
Right.
They could go with any class from 2nd to 5th grade. They walk in that classroom, there was an expectation. Asian too, women too. Whether or not I'm talking about Kathy Capel, I'm talking about other people who just go in and just demand that the earnest respect, but also they teach their butt off. Right, it was something about when you walked into that classroom, the expectation just yielded, and what happened was, before she became assistant principal, she was a dynamic teacher, if that makes any sense. That before she got the position, the title, she was already working in that. So one of our questions about what the soldiers at is, are you moving forward in your current capacity, or are you practicing a paradigm that's already reiterating that the haves are going to pass and the have-nots are not going to pass?
Right.
So we got to go through and move past that, because right now we still have a disproportionate number of students, especially minority students, especially minority males, that are not achieving at the level they should be. And one of the realities of it is that we have a lot of female teachers. So let me speak to you for a second, that you still have to mother, and sometimes you're going to have to father and push them to the next level, because 80% of the teachers are females. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. So you still have to go through and soldier up. Treat that child, mold that child, and have expectations for that child the same way you would have for your son, daughter, auntie, niece or nephew. Right.
You mentioned something. There's a topic that we're dropping called moving from extraordinary, or moving from ordinary to extraordinary, right? And so you touched on that a little bit. You can't be in the classroom as a teacher with an ordinary lesson plan, with ordinary instructional strategies, with an ordinary connection to your student. You have to be extraordinary. You have to be a soldier that's willing to go through, fight for your students, advocate for your students, call parents, form a relationship with parents so that we can shift these students to the next level. It's critical for your students to know that you're willing to fight for them. You use the word soldier up. And I'm commanding you right now to soldier up, take your teaching strategies and instruction to the next level, be willing to have a relationship with them, know where they come from, meet them where they are. And one thing that someone taught me before, he said, you must know at least 3 things about each of your students. If you don't know at least 3 things about each of your students, then you don't know your student. All right? If you don't know your student's first and last name by this point in the school year, then you don't know your student. So we have to do a better job at connecting with our students, advocating for our students, and helping them to move to the next level.
Let me drop this piece though too, because we have a whole lot of teachers saying, where my support at? And we're going to drop the dad and mom piece a little bit later. Soldier up for dad and moms, but where my administrators at? Because the reality of it is that you're going to have to move past some of these bureaucratic barriers that you put in place because you're trying to go through and meet a status quo. And the truth is, and if you look at your numbers and statistics will show, that if you continue on with these practices that affirm that the haves will go through and be successful and the have-nots are not going to do it, then you're part of the problem too.
Right.
So while we're compelling teachers to go through and soldier up, I want to go through and put it out there for administrators.
Yes.
You need to know your teachers, you need to know their strength, and you need to compel them, support them, and support students in making sure that when you put things, initiatives in place in your school, that it supports taking kids to the next level. Because if you're not, then part of the problem is leadership. We are compelled and we're required to go through and push people to the apex. So if you're going to be a transactional leader, I would say get out of public schools, go somewhere else.
Right,
but if you're going to be a transformational leader, then you have to model that wherewithal within yourself.
There you go. This is our challenge for educators. We're challenging you, okay? We're pushing you to the edge, outside of your comfort zone, okay? Outside of your own skin, and we're asking you the question, where are our soldiers at?
Beat your heart. Where's your heart?
Soldier up. We're Creative Solutions. I'm Travis Chapman.
I'm Kenneth Vaughn.
Thank you for joining us.